Hi, I'm Marna. This is the Dolls Rescue Channel, and it's a cloudy day here in mid-Missouri, but I hope you can see well enough. I'm going to make some tights for a Smart Doll. You can do this with any doll at all using a sock. I found these at Walmart. They're really long. I like that. Sometimes your heel piece, you can work around this. I'll show you how on another video on another day. But for right now, we're going to make these tights. What I did was I turned this sock inside out to become a stocking for a Smart Doll. We're going to use these pins as our sewing guide. I'll show you that in a minute. The first thing I did was come up to the crouch and push that down. I put the top where I wanted it to hit, right below the stand port. And what I'm doing on this side is I took an ink pen the same color. I do not recommend an ink pen. I recommend something that you can get off, a chalk or a pencil. However, the idea is to cut above that. So what you want to do is mark this below where your sewing line will go. You're going to go to the top of your mark, okay? Or just below it actually, so we can cut that away and it won't be left to stain the doll. You're going to be sewing starting from this toe going up. You'll put a knot here, which is going back and forth in both directions because that is a stress area. We're putting the pins in to follow. When I get to the sewing machine, I'll put my foot where my sewing needle hits, right where this is. I will follow that. Oh, I need another pin. I had a pin there. Where did that pin go? Okay, let me put a pin here. I am using these longer, I think these are quilting pins. And let me put this here. I thought I had, oh, I do. No, I don't. Okay, and I put that there, and that's important because you want that to come right up to where the toe is. Mine's a little down too far. Let me move that up. You want the point of your pin to hit where you want the sewing machine to turn on your foot. And what you're doing is you're going to carry this over to the sewing machine after I show you how to take them off. And you're going to follow the points of your sewing pins. So this one, you're going to put your foot down and your needle right where this is. Pull this pin out, sew across to this pin. Then you're going to pull this pin, turn your sewing machine, and follow that to the end of this pin. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like follow the dots. When I got up here, I turned the doll around so that the pins are facing the other direction. This one came loose. Let me redo it. And you want to push these long pins all the way up in as far as they'll go. But you want to pull these out as you sew. These are called tights for a reason. You pull them over just a little bit, adding your pins for your direction, pushing that up. Don't scratch your doll. Do not scratch your doll. And then take this on down. You want to take it to here. Pull that forward a little bit. You don't want baggy tights. You want tights. Pull that down like this. And then your last pin will go the opposite direction of your first pin. Pull that around because that is where you're going to sew to, dot to dot. And then I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine. I'll show you how to pull this off in just a second. I'm going to take this over the sewing machine. I'm going to do a straight stitch with a back and forth at the first area, which will form your knot, and the last area, and right up in the crouch. I go 3/4 stitches and I do a little back and forth just so it reinforces that hip. That's where the most stress will be on your tights. Now, at your hips, you do not want these too tight. You don't want a tight fit over those hips because you can break that seal. After we do that, I'm going to cut this out, show you how to do that. You can use large scissors, but I really recommend smaller ones when you get up in the crouch. Then I take it back to the sewing machine and I do a small zigzag on the seam, on the outside of the seam, so that it doesn't fray. Now to take this off, stand your doll up and do it very slowly. What can happen is your pins will come loose. So you got to keep an eye on your pins as you pull this down all along the foot. Here's where it becomes tricky at the heels. Once you get over the heels with the first couple of pins, I'm going to push her feet into a high heel position. Pull this down slowly. Watch your pins, and when you get it all the way off, recheck your pins. Keep an eye on them. These come out, to me, they're very cute. They're very simple. And yes, this is a big print, but I thought it was cute for Valentine's Day. I'm hung up here on the knee. It does take a minute. Just work it down slow and easy, keeping your pins in line as you go. This is probably the hardest part of this whole thing, is making sure your pins stay where your pins should be. This works. I've done this for Blythe dolls 100 times, I'm sure, and I've just started doing it for Smart Dolls. I've done this for Barbies, and you can also make stockings the same way. All right, we have it pulled off. All of the marks are set. They're all lined up where they're supposed to be. And you can see my little pink mark. I'm going to go right above that so that it gets cut off. All that ink gets cut off. Let me go to the sewing machine. Here's a sewing tip for you that works for me. I keep 2 containers of straight pins when I'm sewing. And I use one at the table where I'm for my patterns and my pinning for sewing, and then one by the sewing machine as I take the pins out. And you switch these, like you can see this got low because I've been using it over here, and this one sat by my sewing machine. So now I'll move this one to the counter and this one by my sewing machine. All right, so what we're going to do is very carefully cut this out, not far from the seam. Very carefully. You can use any scissors you want. I recommend for your first couple times, use smaller scissors. If you're not paying attention, you can cut your own seams. You'll put a hole in your stockings and you won't be able to use them. There is my mark for the crouch. We're going to go right up and cut that out. And then we'll come on this side. And see, here's the heel, but it was far enough over. What I'm going to do is I am left side dominant, so I have to be very careful. Cut this out very carefully. I get up pretty close to the seam because you don't want that bulk on your doll. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the sewing machine with a zigzag, and I'm going to round this out a little bit, staying right. You know, this is going to be part of the zigzag, but I'm going to go to this will be the outside of my zigzag on both sides, and then I'll follow this up all the way around. I'll do that zigzag stitch. We'll come back. I'll show you how I turn these inside out and try them on our doll. Okay, this is what you'll have on the inside of your pants. You can see I rounded the edges a little bit. I think I got this one smaller than that. But let's see what happens. This is a beginner craft. And anybody can use this for a quick pair of tights or stockings or even socks. Just put them on your doll and use the pins. I first saw this craft on J Dolls UK channel. She was making stockings, and she said, you know, you could make the socks also. And I started making tights and stockings and socks. Well, I don't really make socks because I don't wear them. I don't like socks. But anyway, that's where I first saw this. It has worked out well. Like I said, this is kind of a big print, but think of it as whimsical. All right.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth. And then we slide these slow and easy on the doll. Never, ever stress your hips. If you go to put something on any of your dolls that is too tight in the hips, where you have to, I'm caught on a snag, inside snag of the fabric. Just do it slowly. Keep your seam in the middle of the leg, on the inside of the leg, and work that up the doll's leg. I'm caught here. There we go. And you can do these in any color. I would suggest in today's world that you wash black socks or dark socks, actually any socks. But I'm not going to leave these on too long. I did not wash them first. Old pair of socks is good to use. You can find those at garage sales. I buy a lot of lady-sized leggings and use those from a doll. I'm hung up here on something. Let me give that a pull and a push and put this on up. What am I hung on here? Let's see. Let me back this down a little bit. I've got a snag from the inside weaving of the sock itself. Okay, here we go. All right, take it all the way out. These are called tights for a reason. They're supposed to be snug. Like I said, if you see how much give there is in the hips, never, ever, ever put anything that is too tight for your, I don't care where you got it or what you paid for it. It's not worth breaking your doll on the hip, in the hip area. And this, that's why you see so many dolls with floppy hips, because that joint on the inside was broken. Okay, we have some sort of hang up here. Back up and go again.
Probably a piece of thread in there?
Yeah, it's a piece of the sock weave is what it is. Yeah, I can feel it, but I can't get it. Something's funny here. Let me see. I'm kind of still working them around, but it's a cute fit. I like them, and it works out well, really cute for beginner sewers. It's such an encouragement to find something like this that takes less than, I don't know, what do you think, Darren? 20 minutes I did this, or probably less, probably 10 minutes at my house. But it takes, 20 minutes to make these. If you're sewing by hand, it'll take a little longer. And these are kind of big, but they're also kind of Valentine's whimsical. With the right outfit, they would be quite cute. So that's my craft for today. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope if you try this, you'll let us know how it works for you. Thank you for watching the Dolls Rescue channel. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe.